Former US President Donald Trump capped off a hectic week which saw him wounded in an assassination attempt, followed by a unified Republican Party celebrating his nomination as their presidential candidate, seen by many as the last step before Trump reclaims the White House in November. Hello and welcome to ThePrint. In this instant analysis episode, I will highlight the key takeaways from Trump's acceptance speech at the end of the Republican National Convention, 5 days after facing an assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. The 4-day convention saw something that the Republican Party has lacked in almost a decade: party unity. The party, since the rise of Trump, has faced its own set of divisions and factions, but all of that now seems to be over, with the former president finally molding the Republican Party into his image with complete loyalty from every senior leader to himself alone. Let us not forget that Donald Trump is accused of inciting a protest to break into Capitol Hill in an effort to overturn the 2020 election results. He's convicted of 34 felonies, and when he left the White House, the US economy had lost millions of jobs and faced the brunt of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, in his marathon speech of over 90 minutes, the longest ever by a Republican presidential candidate, attempted to recast his previous tenure as a great one for the United States of America, and that the Biden years from 2021 till the present date has ruined all his great policies. Trump, famous for his ad-libs with what some may call incendiary rhetoric and going off script, however, showcased a more vulnerable side to his speech at the beginning, telling the story of his assassination attempt and saying that he was present in Milwaukee to accept the nomination only by the grace of God. However, as the speech continued, the former president struggled to maintain the unifying candidate message that he sought to cast in the first half of the speech. I am running to be the president of all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America, Trump declared in an almost Obama-esque fashion. The speech quickly pivoted to praising the fictional cannibal Hannibal Lecter from the movie Silence of the Lambs, comparing undocumented migrants crossing into America with the famous serial killer. He called the current situation on the border as the greatest invasion in history and tried to argue that he is the only candidate running to protect the democratic institutions of the United States of America. Trump promised the largest deportation of undocumented migrants in US history, greater tax cuts, and bringing the debt down, despite the fact that under his presidency, studies show that the overall debt of the US increased by around $8 trillion, which is around twice the size of India's current annual GDP. In his speech, Trump once again raised the fact that in 2020 he was cheated out of an election victory by Biden and claimed that Russia would not have invaded Ukraine if he remained in power, Hamas would not have attacked Israel, and China would be buying more American goods. All of these facts do not matter though currently, as Trump continues to edge the Democratic candidate and incumbent president, Joe Biden, in the polls. The current president has also seen calls growing louder for him to drop out of the race as the Democratic Party is facing its own intra-party stumbles, capping out a perfect image at the end of the Republican National Convention: a unified party under Trump, while the Democratic Party is falling apart under President Biden. But at the end of the day, the things that were clear for Trump's roadmap if he's elected again: tougher immigration standards, more tax cuts, more oil production, promises of reducing electric vehicles, building a border wall, a more isolationist US, and for the first time in recent memory, the Republican Party removed any reference to managing the US debt. Reducing debt has been the clarion call for the Republican Party for over a decade in recent memory. In the new Republican Party controlled by Trump, however, the excision of debt from the Republican platform is the clearest sign yet of his influence and control over at least one half of American politics. Thank you for tuning in to ThePrint. For more such news and analysis, subscribe below.